Psychological confidence occurs when employees feel that they are encouraged to speak up and offer their views, that they feel respected when they do so, and that they feel heard. In a normal workplace where half of the employees keep their best ideas to themselves and half are going to offer you the best ideas. Now, part of that is because 2/3 of employees report feeling ignored by their managers and only 34% feeling heard. And so there's a real challenge with psychological confidence in the workplace. And the question is, what is happening at the white line? What is happening at the white line that allows people to go from a state of low psychological confidence to a state of high psychological confidence? So, three core elements of psychological confidence are: number one, that your employees feel encouraged to speak up. Second, that they feel respected. And third, that they feel heard. And we can label each intersection 1, 2, 3, 4 to see what happens when something's missing. So if you're in intersection number 1, where employees feel heard and they feel encouraged and feel respected, but they don't feel heard, then you're going to get a sense of futility. Korean Airlines crash 801 is a classic example of this, where the co-pilot knew what to do, at least according to the cockpit flight recorder, but never offered his views. Didn't believe that those views would be heard. If you're in number 2, where you feel encouraged and employees feel heard, but they don't feel respected, then what you get is fear. And people are going to self-censor out of fear. And Uber, under Travis Kalanick, one of the original founders, was a great example of this. And of course, that culture finally blew up, and Uber lost $35 million in valuation. If you're in intersection number 3, where people feel respected and feel heard, but they don't feel encouraged to offer their views, then you get frustration. And Boeing is a great example of employees that had views about challenges on the assembly line, just being simply told to shut up and color. And the result were these myriad safety problems that Boeing is now trying to recover from. A great example of being in intersection number 4 is Toyota, where Toyota encourages employees to pull the lever if they see a problem on the assembly line. And even if the employee is incorrect and there was no problem, they celebrate the behaviors of the employee doing the right thing because they want to encourage people to continue doing that. Imagine if Toyota punished people for pulling the lever and then there was no problem. People would very soon not pull the lever anymore unless things had completely come off the rails. You got a disaster on your hand. So Toyota wants to nip that in the bud, people to report problems before they become crises, and that's why they encourage the behavior. What are some leader behaviors that lead to employees feel encouraged, respected, and heard? So let's divide this up into red and green. So let's start off with encouraged. And then we'll do red behaviors and green behaviors. Red behaviors would include speaking first. When the leader speaks first, they tend to shut down everybody else, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to waste their time in futility if the leader's already made up their mind. So when you speak first, you actually shut down people's alternative ideas. Saying things like no and but, whenever you say but, that was a nice idea, but it essentially means that nothing really matters before the but. and people feel discouraged when they hear but, and when they automatically hear no, or something like the problem with that idea is dot dot dot. Then again, you're wind up discouraging people from offering views. Some great green activities that people feel encouraged is, of course, speak last. Ask for people's views. So ask in particular individuals who may be not participating or not speaking up for their views. And if you have somebody who is habitually doesn't speak up during meetings, then ask them in advance. Hey, I'm going to ask for your views on this particular matter, so they can be prepared for it. Use yes and language instead of no but language. And you can even do what I like most about that idea is X, Y, and Z. So those are all great ways to help people feel encouraged to offer their views. Now, how about respected? What are some behaviors that we can use to help people feel respected? So red and green once again. Of course, in the red would include activities like interrupting people. They're going to feel disrespected by you when you do that. Listening to win. So listening to win means that you are focused on showing how smart you are and how dumb the other person's idea is. That's what happens when you listen to win. And so I'm going to abbreviate that LTW. And then allowing others to disrespect people in the room is going to undermine. And those are red sort of activities. In the green would be things like establishing ground rules for how we disagree agreeably, our great leader behaviors, so everybody knows what's in bounds and what's out of bounds. Of course, listening to understand, where you focus your attention on the person, you repeat back what they said to you, paraphrase what they said to you, and ask, did I get that about right? And when they say, yep, that's exactly right, then you can ask some open-ended questions to explore that ideas. And then people are going to know that you respect what they have to say when you give them your full attention. And then finally, feel heard. HEARD. There we go. Red activities under feeling heard would include ignoring people. If you ignore people, they're going to feel that they're not heard. Distracted listening. Looking at your computer or your phone while somebody is trying to speak with you are classic red activities. And then in terms of green behaviors for leaders, listening to understand, of course, is a vital way where people are going to feel heard. Follow up on their ideas. So if somebody offers an idea, a suggestion, a fresh idea, a problem-solving activity, and you've adopted it, then follow up with them and let them know how much you appreciated what they had to say and how you've implemented their idea. And if you haven't implemented their idea, also just let them know that you heard their idea and here are the reasons why you haven't implemented yet. So following up on their input is absolutely vital. So those are some actions that leaders can take to help people feel that they are encouraged to speak up, feel respected when they do so, and feel heard by you and their fellow employees.